Welcome back, everyone, to Limbus Company. I am me. I'm joined by my good friend Hunter.
Me.
And we have a new crossover that will surely I will get everything. How many are there? There's only 3.
There's only 3, comma. It's tough out there. There are people who are like, oh yeah, I did 400 polls and I had to pity everything. It's like, damn, man.
Oh, you know what? They don't have the 1 viewer streamer luck. They should have thought about that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna see crazy egos. Crazy min roll. That's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Good sign. It's a good sign.
It'll flip. It'll flip. Trust.
I enjoy how I save up just enough.
It's not looking good.
You heard me talking shit. I have just enough lunacy saved up to do like a good amount of pulls. There's the one.
열차 정돈을 시작한다.
Wait, no.
Oh wait, that's thematically appropriate.
착석할 수 있도록.
Aww.
She heard we were doing Murder on the Warp Express and decided to rock up.
Got my hopes up. That's not what I want. I want the ego, the under gold one. Jesus, these have been terrible.
More like statistically standard.
Terrible for me. I've never rolled this bad.
Damn, it is tough out here. Holy moly.
I've never rolled this bad before.
Oh my god. Well, it it was bound to happen at some point.
It finally swung back. Wow. Wow. What?
Hey, that's another ID.
Is that the cool one?
그래. 내가 쌍갈고리 해적단 부사장
No.
그레고르다.
I don't want this. I want the ego.
I'd say you'll know when you get it, but maybe you won't get it.
All right, last one. And then we can do this again later. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
All right,
Well, that event lasts a month, so
I really thought I'd get it at least one.
you fool.
Wow. All right. Does it have? It has higher odds, right? I just got unlucky that my 2 3s were not it.
Well, the individual rate of pulling an ego, I don't think is any different, but the likelihood that the ego is the event ego is much increased.
Okay. Well,
I was definitely benefited by the fact that I had no other ego I could possibly draw.
well, I would agree with you, but I didn't draw any egos.
Yeah. So,
각자 자리에 서.
Well,
kind of a moot point in this instance.
yeah. What's the reward exchange here looking like? I can get more draws and a ego.
The Ishmael ego.
Ishmael. All right. Well, we'll do murder on. Did we do Siren? I don't think we did.
I don't think so, actually.
I don't think we did. I think we were
No.
waiting to do that. Gosh. That was bad. I got 2 3 stars, just something, I guess.
It's not Nothing.
Those could have been dupes. That's something, I guess, but...
Little victories, I suppose.
Right. I think we conclude our consultation session here. I've been holding regular consultations with the sinners for a while now. My session of Heathcliff ended earlier than I expected. So, what do you write in that notebook?
Ah, yes. No voice acting.
Well, okay, so you don't want a voice act, you said?
Man, I don't want to, but man, it'd be a lot of dead air if we didn't.
Well, if you
So-
don't want to, then I will, but my voice acting is terrible. But I will do it. I play rogue...
Maybe I'll take
I
I'll take a select few sinners.
I do Rogue Trader as my other stream game, and that has even more dialogue than...
Oh, this? I thought writing them down could come in handy later, in case I have to remember something.
Aggressive Orc Heathcliff return.
It's funny. I think it fits him perfectly. Heathcliff's been holding that notebook in his hands ever since this session started. It didn't seem like he was making a full record of our entire conversation. It was more like he was writing things down if they seemed worthy of remembering. Are you writing about Catherine?
Won't deny that's a part of it.
His expression becomes inscrutably complex upon hearing her name. He breathes in a lungful of air and lets out a deep sigh. Smiles awkwardly before sliding his notebook across the desk in my direction. I take a quick glance at the pages. Its contents are as disorganized and chaotic as his handwriting. But I also notice that several of those disorganized notes are records of his memories of Catherine, scribbled next to notes of significant moments in our journey. Records of memories he doesn't want to lose.
Well, it ain't nothing important.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There wasn't any gravel in that one.
Right, if we're done here, I'm off.
Heathcliff takes the notebook and leaves the room. I catch a glimpse of his bitter expression as he steps through the doorway. It isn't long before Radia practically bursts through the door. So I guess, who do you want to voice act, and who do you not want
I'll
to voice
take
act?
I'll take Heathcliff, Don Quixote, and Faust for this intervallo.
Okay.
More at discretion if I really feel like it.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, because I don't mind, because there was a time period where we played through 6 Yakuza games, and I voice acted everything. I have no problem doing it, it's I'm not good at it. Hey, saw Heathcliff leave the room just now and thought it was my turn. That was a pretty quick meeting, huh? Yeah, we didn't really talk about much. I don't know what's gone into him lately. He's been so... tame. Well, I'm not complaining. Why don't you take a seat, Radia? Radia hummed cheerfully as she sat down. She really didn't seem too different from her usual self. Our consultations usually consist of some minor chit-chat and watching her munch on some snacks, but... Hey, so... I think there's something we have to talk about today. Yeah? Ooh, you're so serious today. What's up? Do you remember what you asked me when we were dealing with the case of time killing time, Radia? I don't know. What'd I say? A lot. Radia carefully looks away, her fingers fiddling with the snacks prepared for these consultations. I'm starting to grow uncertain whether this is a good time to bring this up when she's so obviously evasive about it. I really don't want the mood to get as frosty as it did during the investigation, but this overly chipper, chatty attitude is just a bandage haphazardly pulled over a scar that so hurts, isn't it? I sit there looking at Radia and her fabricated smile. I have to ask. Yeah, this is exactly what these conversations are for. What better time to do this than now? I'm talking about the time you asked me about Sonya, about what would have happened if you... The alarm had to choose this precise moment when I finally gathered enough courage to bring this up, to go off. Oh. Wait, that was... I reflexively get to my feet at the blaring alarm. A few seconds later, I hear someone tapping on the bus PA system. Not long after that, a brief psst plays from the speaker inside my room. Testing. Announcing from the driver's seat, all units taking R&R on the bus must assemble in the hallway ASAP. I repeat, all units taking R&R on the bus. God, if only I had more than like one...
Driver's seat, Charon's seat.
Only I could do anything approaching a proper female voice. Stop pulling me! I am in the process of relaying a very important announcement.
Stop getting in the way between Chiron and Methy.
I was about to go. If I couldn't keep a straight face. Virgilius' deep sigh was the last thing we heard from the bus's PA system before Charon and Otis' brief scuffle came to an abrupt end. My new backdoors thingy. That's what the alarm usually means, right? Let's see. I'm gonna guess that this one's for a refraction railway. Not a fan of those railways. They're so exhausting. Radia grumbles for a moment before rising from her seat. It seems like she's trying to smoothly maneuver away from answering that question. What you standing around for, Dante? Come on, aren't you gonna see what's going on? Yeah, I'm coming. I leave my empty consultation notes behind and follow Radia out of the hallway. Out to a very crowded hallway. The murmur rises and rises. The sinners were each sharing their ideas as to what this alarm might be for. It's gotta be the refraction railway this time, right? Yep, line 4 most likely. This is gonna suck, isn't it? Attention! The executive manager has arrived! I have assembled your forces already in a timely manner. Thanks, Otis, you fucking brown noser.
Welcome, Dante.
I heard the radio. Is it a refraction railway this time?
Yes, the fourth line of the refraction railway, to be exact.
Yeah, I think they're getting used to this. You inhale, do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
WTHAWGI.
Like, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Just you inhaled.
Ryoshu's funny, so I'll
True.
take it.
Whoa! 'Tis a hearkening at...
When the hell? It appears that she is requesting information pertinent to our schedule regarding our entry to the railway. To be exact, I think she's asking, when the hell are we going in? Ryoshu, who'd been listening with a knitted brow as each sinner haphazard their guess, appeared to fully fit. It also doesn't help that not only is like my range of voices not great, I cannot for the life remember what voice I gave people. Sinclair was right on the money. Hey, at least Gregor and Yisong got half of that right too. The bus alarms weren't the only things growing increasingly familiar to us. The sinners were really getting to know one another as well. Well, let's go check it out right now.
Then I shall open the gates!
The door opens with a creak and a bright blue light fills my vision. The blue ambience almost seems to drop the temperature of the entire room. Another railway line, completely different from line 3 in its orange hue.
Manager Esquire, behold! These curtains, these masks, I say, visions of party lay before us, forsooth!
Forsooth! Asks. I followed Don Quixote, who'd run off on her own again with my eyes. It was as she said, the walls were lined with various masks, each wearing different expressions. I wonder if this has something to do with the theme of the enemies we're about to meet here.
Oh, hie thee hither, one and all! Here was a woman, her appearance a spitting image of Lady Otis!
What? There was urgency in her voice. I quickly ran to where Don Quixote was and the other sinners in tow. And there she was, an exact copy of Otis standing before us. I hope this isn't anything serious. Whoa, she wasn't kidding. I hope this isn't a Lear left behind by an abnormality or something like that.
Oi! Oi! How about we don't tempt fate, lad?
But she's quite unlike Otis and shrouded in a weird shadow. Whoa, look, here's one that looks just like me. Honglu said, I would love, like, the fucking trope of, like, the evil shadow clone or whatever, and then there's the one guy and his shadow clone is like, oh my god, it's me! and then they just become best friends. When he raised his hands, the shape raised its hands. When he closed his eyes, the shape closed its eyes. Right, almost like a shadow with the darkness in his... Wait, that looks like one of Honglu's identities. I noticed 3 more humanoid shadows standing nearby. What on earth is going on? We'd be much better off if they were some byproduct of abnormality. However, if they are clones, we must move swiftly to exterminate them, Executive Manager. I request that you immediately order us to prepare for battle. Give me a second. I'll ask Faust first. Faust, what should I do? No, you must make a judgment call at this instant. If they are indeed clones, then the head will... This isn't the first time she doesn't make decisions like this, but she's never been this serious or adamant about it before.
The head's scary, man.
Yisong knows the tension. I don't know that. Yisong knows the tension and quickly stepped in between the two of us. Miss Faust, would you kindly share what you know of this phenomenon?
Yes, this entity is not a clone. Therefore, even if a week were to pass, the head will not mobilize.
Faust nodded sagely, as though she had just learned something new, before looking in my direction. Right. She probably wants me to explain what this is. I quickly blurted out the first thing that came to my mind. That one feels like a Pekatulum. I wasn't completely sure, but that's the feeling I've so grown used to sensing whenever we encounter the Pekatula. A Pekatulum. It's blindly mimicking...
Give her an aggressive nerd voice.
It's blindly mimicking.
It's blindly mimicking whatever Hang Lu is doing. I'm not sure if it has much or anything in the way of consciousness or ego. It doesn't look like a one-to-one copy of him either. Please become yourself, Miss Otis. It appears that Othev has unnerved you. Otis bows, embarrassed, apparent, but her head cleared of relief. My deepest apologies, Executive Manager. I should not have acted in such an unsightly manner before you. Clearly, as a lot to learn about the Sinners, every instance of these moments seems to unveil something new. I was trying to get a better read on O's expression when Heathcliff suddenly asked a question out loud.
I thought them Picatula are supposed to look like monsters, innit?
In it?
Distortions in the Picatula must not be judged on a reference based on common sense, such as their physical appearance.
But do you think we could handle them? Oh yeah, if they're gonna swarm us like they did at the manor, or if they manage to somehow come Virgilius, that's gonna be a problem. Recall the railway's refaction we have suffered ere this one's arrival. It should not present before us a foe we cannot defeat, yet the process shall be as grueling as it always has been, I suspect.
Faust is aware that this entity is a Picatulum of envy, Picatulum invidiae. Considering the strengths of the Picatula we have faced thus far, it is unlikely that we will encounter enemies too far beyond our ability to defeat.
Lack of precise tier labeling system means that it's difficult for one to make a subjective judgment. Speaking of which, what's the ETA on the new risk levels and classifications for the Pekatula distortions?
The LCD has informed us that they have made significant progress regarding that project. It is likely that further details will be shared once they become more concrete.
Ah, that's good to know. Oops, looks like the Pekatula are running away all of a sudden. As we stood there talking to one another, a Picatulum that resembles Hang Lu suddenly shoved him to the side and began sprinting elsewhere.
What the hell, mate? Don't just sit there and gawk at them when they're all legged it.
Heathcliff also sprinted up the figure, but he soon came to a sudden stop before it started and just fucking leg it, boys!
Oh, blimey.
A subway train slides on the platform with a loud horn. Past the windows, I see a subway car filled to the brim with purple shadows. Shadows in the shape of the Sinners. Oh, that's a lot of them. I think I recognize like 3 shadows that look just like me. That ridiculous sight was enough to stop us all dead in our tracks, allowing the Picatulum to board the subway car. Doors shut behind him. Sense aught in the way of a disquietude from this refraction railway. Fellas, there's another one coming this way. As soon as the subway train carrying the Picatula leave the station, a new one begins to roll in. To my relief, this one doesn't look like it's packed to the brim of shadow people. But what is that? There are curtains and masks? I don't remember seeing anything like this on the last railways we challenged.
How uninspired.
Hey, I didn't notice it earlier because of all that mess of clothes and everything, but doesn't that train look much more elaborate than what we've seen before? Right, it's adorned with all kinds of decorations. Just as Sinners were gawking at the ostentatiousness that was this train, something burst forth from the train car door. Ah, whoa! Did that thing just roll out a carpet for us? It's like something's inviting us in there. I like such a manner of invitation. I agreed with you, Song. This isn't an invitation I'm happy to jump at, but I'm sure we'll face even worse things on our journey. I'll take every chance we get to strengthen the Sinners. Let's go. I took my first steps onto the carpet. and boarded the subway train. And then I got off the train.
Yeah, and then you did Railway 4, right?
And then I got off the train. Alright, how did this happen? First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next station, P-Corp. Got into our fancy first-class flash freeze operation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P-Corp after the blink of an eye, but...
Dante, please respond. There's...
This is a good picture. I like this. This is a good picture. First thing I saw in my vision return was the perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time as I did. Then I realized that we woke up mid-transit on the warp train, which could only mean that we're now stranded in some lost, unknown dimension.
Dante, I understand your considerable degree of disorientation, but...
What? What happened? First things first. Let's rewind and return to the very start of this highly unfavorable situation we find ourselves in. A few days ago.
Oh, hell. Virgilius is hard. Virgilius is hard enough, I don't even... Hold on.
I mean, I'll be able to do it well, but I will do it.
No,
Dante.
Yeah, you just growl into the mic. I can't do it.
Our next...
I couldn't...
Our next destination.
Like, I can't go that deep.
Our next destination.
Like, I can't growl.
It's hard. Hey, I'm not...
While going deep.
I'm not good at lowering my voice deeper already, and adding a growl on top of it.
Like, I can make my voice pretty deep, but I can't, like, modify it any further after making it deeper.
Dante, our next destination.
Dante. Our next destination is a warp train, Dante.
Dante. What? I heard like 7 of you there.
You just have to voice Virgilius like you're parodying Virgilius instead of actually trying to voice Virgilius.
Yep, that's where it all started. There I was, still perplexed by the incidents and the part of my brain that's like, I should take like voice lessons or whatever, because it would be a fun skill to have. That's a lot of time and money.
That is
I
a
don't
lot,
have.
yeah.
My awful idea of clearing the air by asking Virgilius for our next destination, not knowing the storm that my innocent question would bring.
Verily? I must have misheard!
I'm quite certain you didn't, Quixote. We are now en route to the T-Corp warp train station.
Because like, I can get like Dante, like, I can do that.
Yeah, you can.
But
Dante.
But anything further is just a parody of Virgilius.
That's what warp train station must have some conundrum that must be resolved there indeed. A quest that must be swiftly addressed at the station, yes?
Did a distortion pop up at one of the warp platforms or something?
1 sec.
It just reminds me of like how you have to go Dante after at the start of every lesson.
I see that you are now significantly less disinclined to take on some side jobs, Dante, but no.
Because like that is how some voice actors have to do it, or like they have a specific word that they know how to do to get like in the right pitch, and then they just keep it from there.
We are boarding the warp train to get to P-Corp, and end of story, Dante. There's nothing between the lines, so don't try reading into it, Dante.
Dante. It was only natural the sinners immediately fell into a state of collective, dumbfounded shock. None of the sinners have any history of working at W Corp, but we're actually taking that train? Through what vague information we could gather from the identities, we all had some fragmentary knowledge about the terrible secrets of the warp train's operations. That'd be weird. Like, you get the W Corp identity equipped, and like, you just like, oh, wait, what? Wait a minute, what?
That sucks. Imagine if you know you'd taken a warp train before, too.
I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their 2 cents in usually end up being pretty helpful, I've been sharing more of these as of late. Though I have very dim, if present, all recollections from the time during which I wear the identities, It can be determined from the conversational records between the manager and the identities that the mechanisms behind warp train operations can be deemed as somewhat bizarre and inefficient. Oh, yeah, that is a 10-second trip that actually takes a long, long time, right? And when the train reaches destination, they just wipe the passenger memories? I also heard that the passengers get so tired and wear it, they start literally ripping and tearing into one another.
Sounds like I might finally have a chance to see a masterpiece with my own eyes.
Even when the sinners wear the identities through my identity cards, the identity memories of
Identity.
beliefs don't bleed into them once it's over and done with. I remember when Faust explained that, due to the risks associated with embracing such influences, there was a filtering process to intentionally block them from reaching the sinners. That's why the sinners could use identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. That's why I kept a record of some things that sounded particularly important and sometimes share it with the rest of the sinners. My voice doesn't really carry well past the window, so most of our communications are one-sided, but I had an abundance of W quote. I do nearly have like all of them, I feel like. So it wasn't difficult to piece together the truth behind the trains. But, maybe ignorance really is bliss.
Your alarmed response and possible incompliance have already been accounted for. Lady Faust, then thou hast known all along? Wherefore hast thou not deigned to tell me of this? Faust has indeed known this all along, as no knowledge is out of Faust's reach. As expected, a solution to your dilemma has already been prepared.
We deal with it. Get good. Fuck my throat. I seriously doubt your solution involves not getting on the train. So what is it? The bus? Oh, what about this bus? There's no way this thing fits inside a train car.
Charon vetoes too. No one to feed Mephi when Charon's gone. Dante, Miss Faust.
Dante, Miss Faust.
The rearmost tail cars of warp trains are all freight cars. That is where Mephistopheles will be safely fastened and transported. And the LCB will have the benefit of boarding as first-class passengers.
The bus begins a swell of noise again, though in a slightly different area to the alarmed response from earlier.
First class passengers?
What the fuck was that?
First class passengers? What, the seats for those pompous toffs? Even on normal trains, you've got those swords whose proudest accomplishment in life is planting their asses in first class, while the others are cramming themselves into freight cars because they haven't the cash for an economy ticket.
Hey, don't look at me. I've never been in one of those first-class seats before either. Isn't that ticket for a single first-class seat like as expensive as 3-4 months' salaries of a first-year wing employee? Can our budget really handle getting a ticket for all of us?
The company's budget is not a subject that warrants your concern.
I heard first-class passengers get some cool bonus stuff like personalized private capsules or something, don't they?
That is the promotional language, yes. They are flash freeze hibernation capsules, to be precise. They have been designed to easily withstand the true amount of time it takes for the warp train to travel from point A to point B. The trip will be over in the blink of an eye for the passengers.
The company regard for our well-being as unfamiliar, yet welcome. To be provided such extravagance merely for our comfort, such occurrence is quite seldom. Right? I honestly thought they were going to slip just the guide and Charon into the first-class seats and ship the rest of us in economy cars. This seems like an unnecessary luxury. They should have saved their budget and given only the executive manager and their loyal advisor access to the seats. Yes, Otis. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're taking the train to get to our next mission, alright? We have to think about the unique nature of warp trains and prepare ourselves accordingly. Right? I know it's first class and all, but warp trains are just plain creepy. I knew you'd also be worried about. For example, economy passengers are going to have a hard time getting into a first-class car, if they can even attempt to open it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the door separating the cars is ironclad. Ismail, who'd been holding that first-class promotional pamphlet in her hands for a while, was chattering on, a fire in her eyes. We won't even have to lift a finger. We just have to board the train, get into our capsules, shut our eyes, and snooze through the entire ride until all the mess in the other cars blows over. Or they used to give out commemorative merch back when their finances were in the gutter, and... Oh.
A true adventure is not without its hardships, yet even the most exalted of heroes cannot venture without respite. Slowly the text scrolls. And in very rare occasions, the hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in a place of quaint...
What? Oh my god, it's so... Hold on.
And in very rare occasions, the hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in place of a quaint inn. Indeed, indeed.
Seems like everyone is at least somewhat interested in the fable of first-class seats of warp trains. I could sense that there was a growing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if it meant that they could ride in the first-class seats. I will board the train if I must.
Is first-class seating mandatory? I prefer the scenic route. Don't want to miss out on all the fun.
Fucking Ryoshu. Virgilius pretended to not hear Ryoshu's question.
Very well. Dante. Then I assume that we are all in agreement. Let's go.
Dante, I like to imagine that is Virgilius. Just randomly Dante.
I have a matter of great import to discuss with thee.
What is it? How with it, lass? Beating around the bush ain't like you.
Don Quixote carefully began, almost whispering in a low voice.
That is, in the first-class seats. I have heard tell that we must board with our feet freed from our boots. Doth that claim hold water?
Oh, come on now. What kind of nonsense gossip is this coming from this time?
'Tis no gossip. Forsooth, I have overheard aught from those that we have walked past ere today, and... When one of them inquired, "You know that you gotta go barefoot in first class, right?" The other responded with, "Of course, man. What am I, stupid?" Doth the traveler speak true, Ishmael?
Don't ask me. I've never been on one of these either. I don't remember seeing anything like that in this pamphlet. Give me a second.
I mustn't be separated from Rocinante, not even for a twinkle. I shan't toss Rocinante to the side next to such vulgarities like the ugly shoes of Sir Heathcliff.
Heathcliff just catching strays. What?
Bro's kicks ain't the right fit.
Oh, you little...
I implore thee, O illustrious Red Gaze, prithee, grant me thy permission and allow me to board with Rocinante.
I expected Virgilius to answer with his usual exasperated rebuff. Contrary to my expectations, however, he responded in a somewhat serious tone, if tainted by that familiar annoyance.
Dante, fine. Keep your shoes on.
The dead look in her eyes in that picture, though.
She is troubled.
What, the look of, fuck, I really thought I wouldn't have to deal with this.
It's not inaccurate.
This place is huge. That was my first impression of the warp train station.
Oh, so this is...
Don Quixote shouted vibrantly, immediately recovered from her previous apprehension of the sheer possibility that she might be separated from Rocinante, fucking whatever, words. So each just has one of these massive structures in them.
I've got nothing. Oi, know anything about what they're asking?
Heathcliff asked, gesturing toward Merceau Fisham. Every warp train station has been built with a general design philosophy that draws from their respective nest architectural idiosyncrasies. It can also be said that many critics in relevant fields praise the warp train stations as one of the many cultural cornerstones of the city. I have no idea what happened, but Heathcliff started treating Merceau like a walking encyclopedia from time to time. I blame Merceau for being that and having zero, qualms about being treated that way.
He's just built like that, man.
Merceau, young Merceau! Lo, is that a passenger over yonder? Is that passenger over yonder one from the west?
Incorrect. Leather-based clothing and metal armor are predominant fashion trends often visible in the outfits of the Western population. While that individual's clothes-based style is somewhat ubiquitously observed throughout the population of North and South, they are largely considered to be an Eastern fashion trend, rarely seen. Dante, why do they keep treating him like an encyclopedia?
Merceau, the encyclopedia.
Prithee, slow thyself, for I must make a record of thy lectures. What wisdom dost thou have to impart regarding the fashion of the northern region? I have once espied in a magazine that they are garbed in puffy, loose-fitting outfits. Understandably so, given the colder climate of the region.
An opportunity for first-hand observation stands before you. What the fuck is this?
Oh!
General Grievous looking ass. Ah! 3 seconds of scream duet, one of utter fascination, the other of unmitigated frustration. What the shit? You nearly blew up my eardrums!
You're one to talk.
Dude, I've got an audible frequency range expansion implant in my eardrums. Holy shit, man! Why would you not, like, have that, I don't know, turned down or something in a fucking train station?
What if someone's gonna sneak up on him?
Now get the hell out of my way! You're blocking the walkway like a ragtime bout of Hicks who's never seen a warp train before. Damn it! I take the train all the way here for an expedition. I'll lose my target. Now these assholes are trying to blow up my eardrums. Great, just great. I love this. Guys, is it that obvious that we've never been on a warp train before? And the round trip ticket fee came straight out of my damn pocket. Oh, watch out, big fella. Someone might get seriously hurt if you keep swinging those 4 arms around, each holding a weapon to boot.
Prithee, wilt thou stand still for but a moment to satisfy a few inquiries of mine regarding thy outfit? Oh, yes, yes. Stand in absolute stillness for 5 minutes, and I...
Seriously? The fixer, with a particularly impressive set of prosthetic arms, spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances as before storming off to a different platform.
Ah, indeed. 'Tis grand, this city of sundry odd personalities.
I'm pretty sure he was thinking the same thing. I guess there really are a lot of people in the city of full-body prosthetics. That's when Virgilius slowly walked up to our group.
Dante. Well then, we'll rendezvous at the destination.
Huh? Wilt the illustrious Red Gaze not ride alongside us?
W Court policy. Dante. W Court policy demands that fixers bestowed with a color title must board a train specially prepared for them instead.
Oh, are you like riding the first class plus or something? That's a color fixer for you, I guess. Special treatment from the wings no matter where he goes.
He's also probably legitimately dangerous enough to warrant an actual threat to the actual train and the safety of its actual passengers.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Imagine if a color fixer goes insane. Nah, man, you give them their own train cabin.
Charon wants to go back to Mephi. Mephi'll be lonely.
Dante, I've told you before, Charon, 3 separate times, actually, each time I bought you one of those candies, that people aren't allowed to board the freight cars. Then, Miss Faust.
Yes.
Virgilius, after exchanging a knowing look and a nod of Faust, escorted the particularly peeved Charon away.
Dante, let us proceed this way.
We followed Faust's guidance to the entrance of our train car. Damn. Whoa, hey, our colors are starting to come back.
Oh!
Hey, these must be the fabled complimentary food and drink of the first class seats. Heck yeah! Of course, quality stuff like these gotta be included at insane pricing. The general response to this room was a surprise at the rows upon rows of expensive-looking, sizable capsules. Flash freeze hibernation, huh? I guess it literally freezes our body in a flash. Faust, are these flash freeze hibernation devices safe?
Please elaborate on your exact definition of safe.
These things are supposed to freeze us solid, right? Can we really come back from something like that?
A flash freeze hibernation device will put you in a temporary state of death caused by rapid cellular cryopreservation process. However, the rapidity of the process prevents damage to your cells during the phase change. Therefore, in most normal cases, this will not cause any issues. Faust is aware that this model has fully resolved cell membrane breaching issues caused by cryogenic density change or by ice crystal growths of water molecules.
I missed about half of what you said, but your point is that it's safe, right?
Yes, as far as Faust is aware. Even if an issue were to arise during the journey, because everyone will be reverted to their states at the beginning of the train trip upon arrival, there won't be any lasting complications from said problem.
You've got a real talent in dragging out something as simple as yeah, it's safe to so many words. Seriously.
Indeed, as Faust's talents are not limited to a singular field.
Uh-huh. Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about. Just as I was wondering, however, I realized that there was something odd about the way she phrased that answer. As far as Faust is aware, are you saying that it could be wrong?
As a general rule, Faust does not err. However, Faust is also not a divine being. There are certain information in the world that Faust is yet to have access to. Therefore, while Faust may speak the facts, what is said may not always align with the truth.
Okay. They don't call it first class for nothing, I guess. P Corp's way up there in the northernmost corner of the city. This thing would take us there in the blink of an eye, huh? That's one hell of a time saver.
Prepare thyself, Rocinante! Thus begins the long jaunt!
I haven't been asked, Don Quixote. Do you ever, you know, wash those shoes? Where'd that come from around here? No, I mean, like, think back when we were inside that whale. When that whale blew up, we got all kinds of its gross, slimy bits on us. They're on our clothes, our shoes, everything. Yeah. And you remember how much we had to scrub to get that bloody, fishy, fleshy gunk out of our clothes? This really isn't something I want to revisit, but yeah. Right, and do you also remember how Don Quixote never took her shoes off during that whole ordeal? Okay, I guess they do look a bit filthy.
I ask thee, dear compatriots, hast thou ever witnessed an errant knight who leaves the side of their beloved steed?
Yes! A lot! Can't say I've ever witnessed a knight before, though.
Then thou shalt know, starting now. Behold it, hearken to it, and remember it well.
They don't spare us even a moment of quiet, do they? Whoa, have you been on one of these, Otis? I have been traded premium VIP seats of similar grandiosity back when there's nothing to fuss over. Otis, who was sitting there and shaking her legs, suddenly asked Faust a question. Hey, you're confident that no accidents ever occurred on one of these first-class cars, yes?
In order to prevent cases of unnecessary anxiety and misgivings among the sinners, the history of accidents that has occurred aboard warp trains will not be shared.
That makes it worse, I feel like. You're like, to avoid raising your anxiety, I will not tell you the answers. I feel like that makes it worse. Wait, what the? Beep. I think we're leaving soon. This is for Warp Train PW612 bound for P Corp. Boarding period is ending soon. Sinners who were either leisurely enjoying their complimentary snacks or taking a look around the first class car suddenly became a lot busier.
Then let us hurry and enter our capsules before it is too late.
No, why isn't this? The other sinners made it in their capsules, no problem, but I felt like I was the only one who was fumbling.
Is it anxiety, Dante?
Yes. I think so. Initiating warp in 10 minutes.
Allow me to assist you. Stand as though you were leaning back and...
Faust expertly guided me into... This is fun, like saying fucking Don Quixote, yay!
Flash frozen in the dramatic pose.
As though she'd done something like this before. Then press a button inside the capsule that closed the hatch.
Do not worry too much. We will meet again in but a moment, Dante.
I thought I heard a brief sigh, but the hatch shut tightly before I could ask it for anything. Initiating warp, please confirm that seatbelts are firmly fastened. Last thing I saw before my capsule began to fill with gas was Faust climbing into her own capsule opposite of mine. I had no idea then what she really meant by, we will meet again in but a moment.
Dante, you must wake up. Dante.
One thing I knew for sure was...
An inconceivable situation has occurred.
Faust was wrong. That something had seriously gone wrong. I love an hour of reading. We're here already? Wow, because that wasn't an exaggeration at all. It really happened to blink of an eye. As always, Faust is giving me her usual look, which was a complete lack of any emotive expression. Which, I suppose, is why I didn't immediately register that something had gone awry.
No, awry.
Awry.
No, we are not yet at our destination.
When I finally came to, and after I had some time to digest that odd reply, I looked up at her face once again, and realized that her expression was more antsy than her usual, by a microscopically minuscule degree. So, this train is still running?
Yes.
Then, where are we?
I believe we are currently stranded in an unidentified dimension. Coordinates unknown.
I took a reflexive deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications left in that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck my mind was that we're about to suffer the very thing that we were so worried about. I see. But I soon found myself calming down. That would be such a weird, like, knowing that, like, yeah, this is gonna fucking suck for...
This is gonna be the worst.
This is gonna be the worst thing ever, and then you won't remember any of it. That'd be such, like, a... Yeah.
You know, there are some sickos who probably somehow know about the warp trains and take economy seats anyway. Because they're freaks like that.
Ryoshu?
Ryoshu would, yeah.
She was complaining about not being able to do that.
Ryoshu's actually the case in point.
It's like, I know there's some freaks who would do this. Ryoshu's like, I asked to do that like 30 seconds ago. Yeah, this had to be a part of Faust's plan. She probably saw this coming from a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every little detail of her plan that will help us out of the situation. But this is all just a part of the plan, right? Faust? That was an unusually long silence from Faust.
You are half correct, yet half incorrect.
With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information as she began stopping by each capsule to wake the sinners. Oh, we're already? Man, it really happened in the week of a...
No.
Just, no. Ooh, what's this? We're here already? For real? Really happened in the week of a...
No.
Whoa, we're here already? I guess I really was worrying over nothing.
No.
Just...
You know the punchline before it even happens.
No.
Yet, I have not uttered a single word. There was a brief cheer, a little hurrah about regaining our colors, followed by a flat-toned explanation of our current predicament, which was then followed by a long, loaded silence, which was a sequence of events that I had the pleasure of watching play out about 10 consecutive occasions.
Dante, I understand your confusion. However, perhaps an elaboration of our present circumstance is necessary.
And that brings us to the present. Let me get this right. This train's still running.
And we're drifting through some unknown dimension.
Oh, art about that striketh me as quite dramatic.
Os and Pole, are you saying that you already knew this would happen, Faust?
Yes.
But what the hell was wrong with you, huh? The sinners each began... I was like, oh, you guys misunderstand. Like, none of you will remember this, so, like... As far as any of us are concerned...
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count. The sinners each began to voice their anger. Of course, this wasn't the first time Faust and Virgilius intentionally and knowingly omitted certain details about events in our path. What, are you insane? It's not like we can just retreat or jump out that door when stuff hits the fan. Opening the door will result in nearly immediate destruction of the physical body. But hey, Fao, at least you know what to do, like you always do. Got a plan, right? Right?
She actually looked concerned. You can see that her eyebrows like very lightly knit together.
Yeah. Faust, whom in fact, damn one. Faust, whom I'd rarely ever seen at a loss for words, was unusually slow to respond.
What's up with her? Lass looks totally out of it today.
She gives me a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in front of the sinners. Guys, let's pause for a bit. She said that something inconceivable has happened. The other sinners' anger was completely understandable. It also makes sense that this continued lack of communication was harming our trust in Faust. Alright, we're gonna go over the situation from the start, okay? But just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust. And for good. I mean, not for good until we arrive there.
I mean, it's kind of implied she recruited everyone to Limbus Company, so, like... it's a strong, like... Faust is untrustworthy, like, at least a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Besides,
At least if the Canto 4 bit with Yi Song. I guess we don't know if every sinner was recruited by Faust, but there was that bit in Yi Song's Canto where it was very obviously Faust recruiting sinner number 1.
Yep.
And she's sinner number 2.
I doubt Faust woke us up in the middle of the trip just to try to spite us. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down. Then I'll ask Faust to tell us what happened. There's a problem. We'll figure out and deal with it as we move along. Tell us what's going on, Faust. All of it. In a way that we can all understand. Let's hear her out first. Is that okay with you guys? You say so. I'll go along with it.
Fine, I suppose losing my rag really ever did anything.
Like, my nose is getting plugged. It's making it hard to, like, fucking...
Thank you. Then,
After some time. The gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of this issue, as always, involved a certain contract and a unilateral decision from the higher-ups of Limbus Company.
When doesn't it?
W Corp caught wind of Limbus Company's recent distortion in contract management promotions, and decided to contract us to deal with a mysterious, repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by distortion, after multiple failed attempts to resolve it on their own, of course.
the distortions themselves likely did not pose a problem for W Corp. Based on the available information, it can be determined that they would all have likely been neutralized as soon as the train arrived, and any transformed passengers would have been reverted to their human forms. But
Real issue was the passengers were disappearing.
passengers spirited away? Alas, such is an impossibility aboard these trains, is it not? That is the question for which we must discover the precise cause and effect of.
Did W Corp share anything to get us started?
That appears to be the most prominent cause of this misunderstanding.
She explained that W Corp refused to share anything about the trains because they were concerned about maintaining the secrets of their singularity. Maybe that's exactly why they sought out an upstart business like Limbus Company to deal with this, now that I think about it. We wouldn't even know where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the identity cards have to offer. Faust produced what appeared to be a keycard with W Corp logo on it before continuing for explanations.
However, we were given this master keycard that can open and close the hibernation capsules at will. We may return to our respective capsules as soon as the contract is fulfilled and safely complete the rest of the journey as we had planned from the beginning.
These bloody wings, every single one of them has been absolutely balmy.
I think it's a bit unkind of them asking us to finish the puzzle without all the important pieces. At least at T-Corp, their chief executive director tagged along as our assistant, not to mention kindly explaining so many new things to us. It sounds like Miss Faust is stuck between a rock and a hard place herself.
Herbert was kind of a real one, even if he was fucked up.
Yep. Some sinners grew more receptive after explanation, albeit with a sigh. I would have appreciated if you at least gave us a hint. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not like there's someone out there monitoring your every move and every word, right? House chooses to not say anything.
That is...
Not everyone is willing to let this go without saying their piece.
Next time, I will take your inputs into account.
And that's everything I can do for her. It's an undeniable truth that Faust had disappointed the sinners with what she's done. But she is Faust, after all. I'm sure she has backup plans to get us out of this situation. What's next on our agenda? Yeah, what's done is done, right? Besides, it's not like we gotta rot away for thousands of years inside this metal box.
That is something I must first discuss with Dante.
Discuss? But discussing things with our other people is very unlike Faust. What are we discussing, Faust?
We must converse in a lower volume, Dante.
Why are we whispering? Her secretive attitude only exacerbated my already battered senses of safety.
My connection to Gesellschaft, I mean Faust, has been severed.
I'm sorry, what?
I cannot access Faust's knowledge at the moment.
I guess I really was right to be anxious.
I. She never says I. And it's all she's been saying.
Yep. Rattle. Ah, yes. Get
명을
in,
받듭니다.
get in
잠깐.
here.
이번 임무는 내가
Get in here.
걸맞는
맡겨두시. 뜀박질 시간.
The power. What do you mean you can't?
I mean it in the most literal sense. My access to Faust's input information, which has always been readily available, is completely severed.
Oh. What if everything about this situation is something you don't have access to yet? Like you said last time.
One cannot completely dismiss that possibility, but even that is uncertain.
Every answer Faust has given me was always full of confidence and methodical expertise. I don't think she's ever said a sentence that wasn't this full of speculation and doubt. Then, Faust, you are...
Yes, at this moment, I am limited to operating with only my knowledge.
Huh.
I cannot discern the cause of this disconnection. More than enough precautions have likely been taken in case of interdimensional travel, but perhaps Faust did not take into account an occasion in which we may have to access an unidentified dimension such as this. Or, even if it was taken into account, this particular dimension may not have been subject to cross-observation. If that is not the case, then no, never mind. There was nothing to suggest that my connection to Faust would be lost, not even as we boarded the train. To be honest, this is a rather disagreeable situation for me.
Alright. For now that changes everything. I recalled the last thing I saw before the hatches on the capsules closed, when Faust told me not to worry too much. Okay? This is just a minor setback. Nothing we can't beat, right? We got this! I began to mutter like I was trying to convince myself. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down so their sights on the future, just as Faust did for me immediately before the hatch closed. If you're right about why you were disconnected, then that problem will solve itself once we're off the train. And if we do ever run out of options, I'll just turn the clock and see what happens. Don't stress yourself too much. We still have a lot to work with. Your knowledge, my clock, the sinners, and I could feel my confidence taking a hit of every word that came out of my metaphorical mouth. That seemed to be enough for Faust. She nodded.
Understood. And to the sinners, the fact that we are currently confined to a warp train in operation must be a source of enough stress. I believe that sharing Faust's current state with them would add an unnecessary source of tension.
I also reckon this door ain't gonna do anything. We're all gonna bite it once it opens.
How many times do I have to tell you that you're not even trying to break the door down? A billion years in this box. Yeah, good idea. So, what now? Do you have to take a searching soup around each car or something?
In the grand scheme of things, yes.
Faust cleared the air of a cough before continuing.
By A-Corp's standard timescale, approximately 3 days have passed since our departure. As per the contract between Limbus Company and W-Corp, I acquired the master keycard placed inside my capsule and adjusted the hatch settings to open automatically in 3 days.
3 days, huh? I feel like I just blinked, and I guess that's hibernation for you.
Have you ever, like, gone under for surgery or anything similar before?
No.
That shit, it is like exactly what they're describing, where you're getting gassed, right? You're getting the anesthesia,
yeah.
And your eyes close, and then boom, you're awake. There is no dreaming, no consciousness. Nothing is occurring between then and when you wake up. It's like your brain just on complete standby.
I've never had anything major enough to do anything beyond just local anesthesia.
It's distressing. I don't recommend having surgery.
As you were all informed prior to boarding, there's no way for the economy class passengers to enter the first class car. That is why this place has remained untouched. However, cross-referencing my own deductions and W-Corp's rather fragmentary explanations, I can assume that the situation is currently under progress in the economy class cars.
The part where they thrash the shite out of each other, tearing their limbs off, all that mess.
No, I doubt that. I don't think it gets that bad, just 3 days. Besides, that's supposed to be business as usual for W-Corp, right? There must be something else out of the ordinary that they want us to deal with.
Precisely. In my opinion, it is... Oh, hold that thought for but a moment!
Just as Faust was about to continue, Don Quixote raised her index finger to her lips and signaled her to be quiet.
Dost thou hear aught as I do? Scratching, nay, rapping. Forsooth, past this gate must be...
As Don Quixote kept listening with her ear to the door, an odd expression of half curiosity and half horror appeared on her face.
It is possible there must be... Lady Faust?
After that very distressful noise, everyone simultaneously turned their head to look at Faust, who closed her eyes briefly in thought.
Please step aside for a moment, Don Quixote. It would be best if I observed it with my own eyes.
With that, she produced the master keyguard from her pocket and approached the panel installed next to the door.
Well, hang on a minute. You're gonna open the door?
I intend to follow your usual flavor of suggestion, Heathcliff. That there are times in which a physical altercation is preferable to detached ruminations.
My suggestion? Well, I ain't gonna disagree with you there, but what's gotten into you, lass?
After all, how could I deduce anything without seeing it myself?
Beep. After a brief mechanical beep. Ah! Hideous creature suddenly crashed through the open door and charged wildly in our direction. Wow, that was fast.
Hate it when that happens.
승객들, 뭔가 기분 좋은 일이라도 있었던 거야?
행색이 이상하나. 그럼에도
I saw
이상이야.
passengers, and for a moment I thought maybe this was like a unique dialogue.
아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요.
시간 끌 것 없이
도끼를 본다.
Did they? Okay, so I noticed this when I was doing the mirror dungeons with Hanlu. For some reason, every time he would use his skill 3, he'd use it twice.
Did you have the rusty commemorative coin?
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I did.
Because that just, the first one coin skill of any kind used during combat will be used twice. It's really good on Honglu.
Yeah.
With the Lord of Ongyuan.
Yeah, no, I was like, did I get something?
뒷박질 춤.
그래, 딱 반쯤 죽여버려. 13줄 2항에 맞추려면 그게 체격이.
깨우치시게. 승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
가치 없고
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
One sec.
Lady Faust, however similar in appearance they may have been to the passengers, verily, 'tis as though they were in a complete want of sense.
Like people politified by the whale. Don Quixote hesitated to the last second to raise her weapon against them. She hung her head mournfully. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about those monsters before the fight began, and she would not have been burdened by the sheer thought of bringing harm to the innocent. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies in the general area for information. You appear particularly inquisitive today, Miss Faust. Huh, yeah. Aren't you usually the one who has all the answers while we're racking our brains trying to come up with something? The sinners were starting to feel that there was something off about Faust's behavior. They might even soon realize that there's something wrong with Faust.
Don Quixote? They are not dead. Huh? Observe closer. The parts are all tethered to one another by something, are they not?
Oh!
It appears that the flow of time has ceased in this space. Therefore, it follows that the connections that tether bodies to life and away from death remain intact.
My relief. Faust managed to correctly figure out what was going on like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. Hey, what'd I say? We got this! Huh? What was that about? Nothing. But I'd forgotten that not all the sinners were content, nodding along to our information Faust told us. The flow of time has ceased above a warp train, is it? Yi-Song grew pensive, saying that Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read of her expressions. That was an unmistakable look of regret, however short-lived. Albeit, would it not be more accurate to muse at the flow of time has decelerated to the point where, to an extra-dimensional observer, it has slowed to a stop? What is your perspective regarding the situation?
Yes, that is a most rational suggestion, Yi-Song.
Did Miss Faust just get something wrong? Wow, Yi-Song sure is a time expert, right? Can you summarize these areas now that we're talking about anyway? Gladly, if you would allow me. Yi-Song began to elaborate with gentle enthusiasm. That was close. To speak in brevity, it can be said that death is not an element aboard this train. And can you maybe speak in a little less brevity? To elaborate.
Verily, this one's heart beats still.
Don Quixote lowers her head and listens closely to what appears to be a dismembered torso and shouts relief. Their state is akin to an unassembled jigsaw piece, merely mobilized and separated. Though their corpus has been sundered, the concept of death is at a state of, for all intents and purposes, eternal delay aboard this train. Existence in continuance of moratorium. Forced, they are to be tethered upon the thinnest yet tenacious thread of life.
I ill understood what hath been said here, yet they are not dead all the same, If their severed parts are all connected, then it can be said that no matter how entangled their bodies become, it is not impossible to eventually gather their parts together to form a single passenger. Thus, naturally, we can determine how and why the profession W Corp cleanup agent has come to be.
I see. Because someone will have to categorize and reconstruct these puzzles once the journey is over. It's really baffling to me that a job like that even exists. Ever seen a wing that wasn't baffling in every sense of the word? Still, I guess that means that as long as the train arrives at the station, they'll all be put together like nothing happened. What I learned about through the W Corp identities, their main job was to gather chunks of flesh together, bring them back to their original shapes before they boarded the trains. It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person.
Phew! That is quite the auspicious news among ill tidings indeed!
It soon clicked in me what Faust was, though with some awkward effort, trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh for relief. Maybe Faust was trying to cheer up Don Quixote up in her own way. The other Faust would not find it even necessary to do something like that.
Dante?
What's up? Oh, Don the Whisper, right? Dante is such a funny character, like, once he's not utterly out of his element, and only slightly out of his element.
I think Dante is always trying their best, and that's what matters.
But just like, what's up? Oh,
yeah.
Don the Whisper.
They're decent at grasping the situation once it's been comprehended, but before that point, they do flail, like, a lot.
Indeed, I intend to collect further intelligence.
Well, if there's anything I can tell you. Faust cast a dark gaze toward the chunks of flesh. Her gaze remained fixed upon them as she whispered.
Are they distortions or abnormalities?
Oh, yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that. They weren't humans, that's for sure. From them I felt the same sensation I felt from monsters. Something inexplicable, an unclear sensation or an aura. I felt this somewhere before, I'm sure of it, but I couldn't quite pinpoint the source of the sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that this sensation was not from the same feeling I got from abnormalities, distortions, or even Picatula. If I had to lean one way or the other, I'd say they're closer to distortions. I'm sorry, I don't think they're either of those.
Is it difficult to be certain at the moment?
Again, I'm not sure how I can explain this, but they're very, very similar distortions, but also different. If you had to ask, then I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know?
Faust may know, but I, at this moment, have no way of knowing.
I feel like I should apologize for that.
There is no need, Dante. Though the information you have provided me is rather ambiguous, it has helped me to deduce something of worth. And collecting intelligence myself and creating deductions based on sparse information is quite...
She paused, holding a bloody, slimy chunk of flesh in her hands.
She just smiled to herself with gore in her hands.
Oh, finally, the awakening has begun.
Psycho. So since we gotta stop in
부끄럽지 않습니다.
7:30, do we have time for another one, or?
I think we can manage. Actually, I feel like I remember this one being wordy.
Okay. We can always continue later.
You have to stop at 7:30, right? Not like a little.
I can go a little bit over.
Let's do it. Let's roll this one. I doubt it's gonna be 15 minutes. We can roll this guy, and then that'll leave us with 10 stages to go next time. And it won't be on a Thursday, so we'll have a little more time to just finish up next time.
After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, he opened the door to the next cabin, only to be greeted by a loud commotion. It sounds like there are other survivors?
Ah! Passengers in danger! Worry not, for I have arrived to... Ah!
Wah! Wah! Oh! This ID class. Hey. Whoa, don't come any closer. Who the hell are you guys? A four-armed woman suddenly jumped in our path.
She appeared without warning.
House stumbled a little, inadvertently slapped by the figure's swinging arms as she would push us away. Right, like you gave me any warnings before you practically kicked that door open. Would you mind moving that huge sword out of our faces? It's a bit threatening. Threatening? I'm trying to protect those civilians in this car. Also, is that a bioprosthetic? Must be an old-timer, huh? I thought those things went out of style forever ago. Oh, you want to see what this old-timer's got left in them?
Aha! Thou art from the north, verily. Thy garb is that of northerners, no?
This really ain't the time, lass. Anyways, looks like we're in the same mess here. Make way for us, yeah?
She seemed to be sizing us up for a moment. Nah, how do I trust you? Got any proof that you ain't bitten? I'm not gonna let all my effort protecting this place go to waste.
Bitten? Bloody hell are you talking about?
Weird. You look completely lost. If you're in one of the economy cars, I'm sure you've seen. Hold on. Are y'all from the first class car? Yeah, we just woke up from our capsules. But none of you look very... I mean, aren't first class seats supposed to be... Well, why didn't you say from the get-go? Name's Sasha, multi-crack office rep. That, she lowered her weapons and allowed us to pass.
Have you not left this car for the duration of the ride, Sasha?
No, I haven't. We warped over to T-Corp after picking up one of their contracts, but geez, can you believe that this train broke down? Shit, is it even broken? Not feeling hungry, or sleep at all. Sinks of some shady bullshit, if you ask me. You can feel all that, even in a prosthetic body? Man, how could I live without my favorite hobby, drifting into a sweet nap after a pleasant meal? So I made sure to get a high-quality parts for him, so I can still feel hungry and sleepy.
Hasn't something else of note also occurred?
I feel like instead of the hunger, you could just have, like, the sense of taste. But, yeah. I bet your ass had something else of... I bet your ass had something else of note go down. How distracting. Is it hard for you to speak without being so hyper? Or at least stop swinging your arms around like that. Can't do that, friend. I broke all my prosthetic arms in a fight, so I'm calibrating a new set. Gotta keep swinging them if I'm gonna sync up with the other parts anytime soon. Anywho, I don't know what the hell is going on, but people are starting to turn into some weird monsters all of a sudden. Having a goddamn clue who they are. Don't seem like they can understand us either. Good thing my train car didn't have a lot of these monsters. I just chopped up monsters that were to pieces and hauled the civilians to this vacant car. 3,201 red colors, 3,202 red colors.
You've decided to protect them despite the potential risk that they may transform as well. But of course, 'tis expected of any valorous fixer to stand guard in the front lines against evil to protect the weak.
I've been keeping a close eye on him for at least 3 days, and so far, 0 transformations. Go past this card and you see what the hell on earth it really means. Those monsters are constantly trying to claw their way to the front car of the train, so if you ask me, I would just that some shit went down there at one of the train cars in the back and spread like wildfire till it reached here.
I see.
It's all Mephistopheles' fault. And that's all I can tell you about the situation. So what's your story? Why'd you rich first-class folks suddenly decide to grace us peasants of your presence? Nothing that happened here could have made it your swanky first-class car, so what's your business down here?
W Corp has hired us to solve this case. We are... fixers! Indeed. Fixers.
Faust nodded reluctantly as she affirmed Don Quixote's boisterous declaration. Huh. I got every single one of you a first-class ticket. Your office must be rolling in the dough. Wait a goddamn second. So W Corp already knew this would happen? But, are you really contracted to a wing? Not sure if I trust you.
As you must be well aware yourself, contracts and contract fulfillment are of paramount importance for fixers. With that in mind, please recall that W Corp is one of the most secretive wings of the city.
Ah, non-disclosure agreement, huh? Makes sense. I wouldn't deal with those oofy boys either. Anyways, I'm still gonna have to ask for proof that you're actually contracted by W Corp.
This is the master keycard given to us by W Corp. I believe that it can open most doors aboard this train.
Faust produced a master keycard from her pocket. I guess there isn't any other way for us to prove that we're actually contracted by W Corp. A keycard, so you used to open a path between the first class and the economy class car. Let's see. W Corp logo. Whoa, nice materials. Looks like you're telling the truth. Alright, I won't pry. Not going to cash in it for me either. So, guess you gotta go all the way down there for your job, huh?
Yes.
The fixer finally got out of her way, then with one of her free hands pointing toward the opposite door. Well, it's your funeral, ladies and gents, or your victory lap if you guys are really that good. Lots of luck to y'all.
I thank thee for thy words of courage, Fixer Sasha. I shall trust thee with protection of this fortress. Prithee, protect the innocents in my stead.
Big sis, are you a fixer? Are you gonna save us from the monsters in the cars behind us?
No.
No!
Oh?
Just as we were about to reach the other end of the car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails.
Aye, forsooth.
Whoa, are you a famous fixer?
Forsooth once again, thou mayst know me as a profoundly illustrious fixer.
Whoa, I want to be a fixer too, just like you. No, peasant lady. I'm sorry, she's my daughter, and...
Oh, worry not. 'Tis no bother at all. Thou must dream of becoming a fixer thyself, little squire. It is fortunate that someone like you is aboard the train. Your presence ensured that child's survival.
What you talking about all of a sudden? Come on, no need to keep up appearances between people in the same line of work. I'm just here to collect some sweet, sweet emergency contract fees from each and every one of them. Are you two on something, or what?
I see.
I don't think Don Quixote needs to hear what she just said. Didn't know you could be like that, Faust.
Be like what?
You knew there was no way the fixer was actually there to protect them out of pure goodwill, but you decided to go along with Don Quixote's solutions anyway. Am I right? Good move. I was getting worried about what happened when she started acting out again. You saw the twinkle in her eyes too, right? Don Quixote's always been energetic, but she's been especially bouncy today.
Eyes.
Faust showed towards Sasha with a question.
I have one last thing to inquire.
It'll be 30k on per inquiry.
That is quite an unsound decision to make for someone who claims to be in the same line of work as us. Have you considered the possibility that, once our contract is successfully completed, we could include references to a particularly cooperative associate office in our report to W Corp?
Whoa, you serious? Well then, let me hear it.
Were the eyes of the monsters you faced red, by any chance?
Sasha paused her swinging arms for a moment upon hearing that question, appearing to either be in thought or trying to recall something. Then answered. I don't know. Those monsters were red all over, but is there something special about the red color? Well, for one, my prosthetic eye is red. That passenger over there got red eyes, and oh, you there, that lady with a big sword also got red eyes. What, someone out there paying cash for info on red eyes? Something I felt a cat.
No, well, it was a question of no significance.
Faust nodded lightly in her direction, then opened the door to the next guard. Ooh.
Woohoo.
It was just as we had feared. The scene that appeared us before looked like it came straight out of a painting of hell. Fucking Ryoshi's there smiling.
And Ryoshu's source material is called Hellscreen. All right, yeah, that was not that timely. Good extra thing to fit in there.
All right, so with all of that done, I'd like to thank you for coming on stream. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we will see you next one. I want you all have a good night. Wait. This is the poll right here.
This one for sure. Well, it's something.
It's something.
It's not nothing. New ID. New ID as a treat.
Oh.
Oh no, I think that's an ego. That's unfortunate.
위장에 묵직히 얹히는 총신을 느끼리라.
Oh well, you got both halves of the fell bullet.
Well,
저들을
Sweet. That's nice. That's an ego.
Aww.
Is noticeably not an event ego.
I mean, it was funny that I was right though. Not in the way I want to be, but
Alas.
alas. All right, everybody, have a